Good afternoon and a very warm welcome indeed to today's iOB business webinar. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on here. My name is Ben and I will be the presenter for today's webinar session. I am the resident business coach here at iOB Business. Okay, so whilst we are waiting for everybody to get on and join us for today's session, we will run through a little bit about how these webinars work so that you can get the most out of today's session. Okay, so first things first, welcome. For those of you joining us now, we're just about to run through how these webinars work. So if you have any questions on today's session, please do not be shy in asking them. We'll be taking a break in between each of the three core topics today to give you a chance to ask away with any questions and indeed jot down any notes as well if you have them. So please don't worry about getting left behind or getting lost in the webinar. We always make sure that you got time to keep up with what's going on during the webinar session. Okay, perfect. So to those of you joining us now, a big warm welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on here for today's session. What we'll do now is we'll get the video camera switched off. All right, so you shouldn't be able to see my face anymore, but we're going to bring the presentation up on screen and you should be able to see that now. Okay, so once again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them at any point throughout today's webinar session. We're always happy to answer them, and we'll be answering the questions at the end of the webinar session during the Q&A segment. Okay, so we run that for a few minutes at the end of every webinar to give you a chance to run through any questions that you had throughout the webinar session. So please don't be shy in asking them. We always get a couple. It's always a pleasure to answer them for you. Okay, so let's get kicked off then. Perfect. Okay, right before I do, if we can just do a quick sound check, quick visual check, please let me know in the chat box, can you see the presentation up on screen and can you hear my voice okay? Once I know those two things are all good, then we are ready to rock on today's webinar session. Fantastic. Okay, great, cool. Thumbs up, ready to go, awesome. All right, thank you for that. So without further ado, then let's get kicked off on today's webinar session. Okay, so today's topic of conversation, how new businesses attract clients. All right, now your presenter today is myself. My name is Ben and I'm a business coach. I specialize in working with small businesses to help them achieve stability and help them achieve growth. It's what I do, it's what I love. It's an absolute genuine pleasure to be on here today presenting this webinar to you. Now, today's topics of conversation. Number one, networking and partnerships. Okay, we're talking about how new businesses attract clients. All right, constant online presence. And number three, working on the craft of sales and negotiation. All right, these three things, these are what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to make sure that we have absolute clarity on how you can take action on these points after today's webinar session. Okay, so speaking about new businesses, existing businesses, I know there's lots of people on here, lots of different points in business. So we will be talking to everyone, okay? This includes startups, this includes early businesses, this includes established businesses. It's useful for all of them. So number one, networking and partnerships, okay? Attending industry-specific events and conferences to meet new professional contacts, okay? This is something that you can really, really utilize if you're looking to make yourself known, make yourself established in the professional world as a business. All right, attending industry specific events. So for those of you that are running digital marketing agencies or starting digital marketing agencies, this is a big one for you. Okay, industry specific events. So look for marketing events, look for digital based events, look for technology based events so that you can go to these and enjoy them. All right, then you've got conferences as well that do a very similar thing to meet new professional contacts. Okay, being in this kind of area, you'll have a lot of opportunity to meet people who are doing very similar things likely to what you're doing. You might find that these professional contacts can help you in a number of ways. There'll be different ways in which you can connect, collaborate, and potentially even do something in business. Okay. Number two, building strategic partnerships with valuable contacts in several networks. Okay, so building these strategic partnerships is something that always needs to be thought about, because as a business, sometimes, especially if you're running it by yourself, you can feel somewhat isolated in the sense of, I'm doing all of this by myself. Okay, now people don't have to necessarily work for your business in order to be able to help you. Okay, there is very popular ways of collaborating with other businesses, other professionals, other talented individuals who will have great ideas, great skills, great abilities to help you grow your business. Okay, help you get something done. So having valuable contacts across several networks in different industries, if you've got industries in, say, video editing, you've got contacts there. You've got contacts in marketing, you've got contacts in business development, you've got contacts in sales. Lots and lots of people have lots and lots of unique gifts, and you can help yourself by allowing yourself to be helped by these people. Okay, building strategic partnerships. It's a very, 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 very good thing to do if you are running a business. No matter how many people work with you, for you, it's very, very important that you focus on these strategic partnerships. Okay. Now, a personal rule I have for, say, going to a networking event or, online networking, go to a conference, go to a seminar, whatever it is that you do. Okay. A personal rule that I have is that at an absolute minimum, I need to make at least one valuable connection. Okay. One valuable connection. That is the absolute minimum. Okay. Now, I do not want to leave that conference, that seminar, whatever it is that's going on, until I have at least got one valuable contact. Okay. Now, using professional and industry specific networking sites such as LinkedIn or business forums. Okay. So it's a good chance that you've heard of LinkedIn. It's a social media platform for professionals, essentially. And there are lots of professionals in lots and lots of different industries on there. Now, you've also got things online like business forums. You've also got specific places that you can go to, in-person events, okay, in-person networking events to help you develop and grow this part of your business, this part of your professional life. Okay, but by using these professional and industry-specific networking sites, you're allowing yourself to build a wealth of contacts in that specific niche, in that specific category, whatever it is that you're looking to improve. Okay, so your industry is your industry. Your industry is digital marketing, but there are other industries like sales that could really, really help you. You could really benefit from speaking with lots of people who are fantastic at sales because it will make you a better salesperson. All right. So allow yourself to use these professional networks and really, really enjoy using them. Get as much as you can from them because there is so much to be gained with networking and partnerships. And the final point, every job, even one delivered for free, gets a case study, a review, a testimonial. Okay. This is just an absolute given. All right. With the networking and partnership kind of arena, it's very, very important that you kind of allow yourself to exist in this network. And if you do something for someone, sometimes there's an exchange of services, sometimes you'll do something for a case study or a review, but anything that you do, even if the job's being delivered for free, or especially if the job's been delivered for free, ask for a case study in return. Okay. Hey, can I talk about how my help has changed your business? And can I share that with as many people as possible? Okay. We always want to be talking about what we're doing. We always want to be sharing with other people what we're doing. Okay. Especially if you do tend to feel quite isolated when running your business, sharing a load of stuff like this online, connecting with networks, speaking with other people, it'll help you feel significantly less isolated. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll take a brief pause. We're at the end of topic number 1 on networking and partnerships. We will take a very brief pause. It will give you time to ask away with any questions that you have. Thank you for the question. I'll get that at the end. And please do take this opportunity to jot down any notes that you might wish to take as well. And I'll see you again in just a moment for topic number 2. Okay, wonderful. So hopefully you've had a chance to do that, and we will move on to topic number 2, constant online presence. Okay. How new businesses attract clients. Very, very big way. Interviewing clients, all right, prospects or experts of the industry in video or audio form. Okay. Now, we spoke about networking and partnerships. We're talking about how to attract new clients. We're talking about how new businesses attract clients. All right. Collaborative work. You can learn, you can benefit from having valuable contacts in your network. And specifically, when we're talking about networks, which is what we're talking about in topic number 1, there are so many opportunities that lay within, okay? If you can't sort of establish a working relationship directly with your new contact, they might know 5 people that could benefit from your services, all right? So for every new person you met, they knew 5 people who would benefit from speaking to you. Think about how many people that could end up being, all right? Very, very, very important. So interviewing clients, prospects, or experts of the industry in video or audio form, okay? If you're looking for things to do online, if you're looking for things to talk about online, because a big thing is struggling with what content do I put out there? Will people like the content? How do I make sure that people enjoy it, engage with it, and all the rest of it? Okay, so here's some ideas. But the absolute primary thing is being online constantly. People should always see you doing new and innovative things in business, talking about business, enjoying marketing, enjoying running your business, enjoying sales, talking about sales. All of these things, talk about it constantly. Everything and anything you can think of relating to business, go online and speak about it. What will also happen is you'll find yourself refining your skills. You'll find yourself developing a great ability to speak online confidently, happily, and allow other people to enjoy it as well, because what they enjoy most is watching somebody who is naturally happy to be there. So interviewing clients, prospects, or experts of the industry in video or audio form. Okay, this is a fantastic way to do it. So find an expert, okay? Find someone who is very, very good at what they do within whatever industry it is that you want to create content on. So say you want to talk about sales, find the person who is just absolutely incredible at sales. They have so many unique ideas, very, very naturally talented salesperson, okay? That's one way of doing it. You can interview clients that you have, okay? If you have their permission, you know, they would like to do it, you can interview them talking about their business, talking about how their business has changed, talking about how their business has improved since they started working with you, okay? The same with prospects. Even if they decide not to work with you, you can say, okay, hey, that's fine that you don't want to work with me directly, but would you actually be interested in doing an interview with me? Because I think it would make great content for both of us, all right? So this kind of level is something that you should look to achieve, you know, in terms of having the confidence of just being willing to ask these people, look, can we do an interview? Because I think both of our audiences would absolutely love that. Okay, so next we have content marketing of success stories, even if unrelated to your exact business. Okay, sharing how something is successful is always inspiring. It's always allowing somebody to see something that they themselves might wish to achieve or accomplish. It's a very, very good thing. Okay, so this kind of content marketing is wonderful. All right, we talk about success stories. Now, even better if these success stories are something that you personally have made happen, but you can also acknowledge success stories happening in other ways and just talk about what you think about it. Say, hey, look, I've seen this amazing success story, and it's something that I really, really felt inspired to share with you, my audience. Okay. People want to see great things. People want to see things that inspire them. People want to see things that make them happy. And most importantly, perhaps, people want to see things that inspire them, but also relate to them. If somebody can sit there and think, look, I could do that, okay, I could achieve that, then it's a very, very powerful thing, especially if help in achieving that comes from your business. Okay, so publicly discussing trends, news, and innovations within your niche. All right, you always want to be clued up on what's happening in your industry. All right, doesn't take long, 5-10 minutes a day. Listen to some audio, do a bit of research on the news, just see what's happening within your industry and talk about it. Okay, talk about trends that are happening. Are certain services providing better value right now? Or certain services being used more by businesses? Are you seeing a certain kind of trend in one way or another? Are you seeing certain things declining? Are you seeing people, you know, more inclined to now use, you know, up and coming forms of advertising versus the older forms of advertising? Anything you can think of relating to trends, news, innovation, or anything else valuable that you can think of within your niche that could be value for your audience. Okay, if you want to be recognized as the expert in your industry, you want to be recognized as somebody that people can trust, people can look to whenever they need help or advice or guidance, this is what you should look to do. Okay, the content that you create doesn't always have to be related to you. It can be related to other things going on in the world, but there's a secondary benefit to that of, well, I don't need to go and watch the news or read books or do this or do that because I just follow this person. And this person always gives me the highlights of things that I need to know. Okay. So ensuring each contact gained remains within your sphere. Okay. Very, very, very big thing, right? When we're talking about how to kind of utilize this as a powerful driver to help you grow your base, grow your kind of, network. A lot of the time being online will help you gain fresh contacts. It will help you gain people following your page. It will help you gain people engaging with you, commenting on your stuff, maybe sending you a message. Okay. Now, what you want to do is that every time somebody comes into this sphere, quote unquote, okay, if you imagine this hypothetical sphere, metaphorical sphere, sorry, that's there, okay, around you and your business, and somebody comes into that sphere, you make sure that they stay there. You want to make sure that you maintain contact with them. And a great way of doing this indirectly, it's just by, again, being online all the time. It's like, hey, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still in this industry. I'm still in this business. I'm still doing this. I'm still doing that. Okay. It lets people know you're still there and you're still ready to go if they need help with whatever it is that they're looking to get help with. Okay. So that brings us to the end of topic number 2. What we'll do once again is take a brief pause. I'll be back with you in a minute or two. Okay. So in the time being, please do take the opportunity to jot down any questions and indeed write down any notes that you have as well. And we'll answer all the questions for you at the end of today's webinar during the Q&A session. And I'll see you again in just a moment's time for the third and final topic of today's webinar conversation. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to the third and final topic of conversation then. Working on the craft of sales and negotiation. Okay, so how new businesses attract clients. Being optimistic, but realistic in your discussions with cold and warm prospects. Okay, the craft of sales and negotiation is one that's going to take work. It's going to take time to refine. It's something that you're going to have to continually work on. Okay, so we want to be optimistic, but also realistic. Okay, in your discussions with cold and warm prospects. So let's say that you've got a warm prospect. You're talking about doing some kind of paid advertising service with them. Okay. Now, what you want to be sort of achieving here, all right, and you're working on your craft of sales and negotiation, is being optimistic with them in the sense of, I think we can achieve this, I think we can achieve that, and I'd be very, very pleased if we got here. But be realistic and say, look, not everything's always going to go our way. Okay. Now, often you would find that when this realistic approach is taken, they actually have a lot of respect for it, because they're saying, well, this person isn't promising me the moon. All they're saying is, I would really, really like to do this. And I've seen, success with this type of service before, but just to let you know and make sure that our expectations are realistic, I cannot guarantee this. All right. So here's what I think worst case could happen. Okay. So being realistic really, really helps, because it gives yourself, it gives you a lot of credibility. Okay. It gives them a lot of respect for you, because they think, well, look, this person is just trying to be straight with me. They're not messing me around. They're telling me exactly what they think will happen, not necessarily just what I want to hear. And people have a lot of respect for you when you speak like that. Okay. So next thing that you can do to work on your craft of sales and negotiation is establish techniques for getting a conversation. Okay. Now, getting a conversation is a term that I like to use in context like this, because it summarizes so well what we need to do in order to sell our services or products. Okay, so specifically if we're working in a service-based industry like digital marketing agency, what we really need to do is figure out how to get a conversation, a serious, real conversation where we can talk about how we're going to grow and improve somebody's business with the services that we offer. So what have I got to do to get a conversation with that person? And I don't mean a 30-second conversation over the phone when I've cold called them. I mean a real, genuine 30-minute chat. Tell me about your business issues, and let's see how I can fix them with the digital services that we have on offer here. Okay. So establish these techniques for getting a conversation. Now, a really, really good technique is highlighting benefits. So say you call, a restaurant and you say, look, I've got XYZ services on offer. I want to have a conversation with you about them. Okay. It's not going to cost you anything. I just want to sit. Can I take 30 minutes of your time? Can I come and see you? Can we get on a Zoom session? The reason I want 30 minutes of your time is because I believe that I have 3 things here that could really, really improve the way that you do business. If you'll allow me, I'd love to run you through them for free. Okay. Establish these techniques for getting a conversation. Just help somebody do something great, and you'll find it easier to get a conversation. So if you can genuinely help someone, tell them that, and be very, very straightforward about it and say, look, I don't like wasting my own time, and I certainly wouldn't waste your time. All I want to do is take 30 minutes of your time, because I'm going to run you through 3 things that I think could improve your business. Okay. Now, you'll find that with saying stuff like this, with practicing these types of conversations, you'll become more and more confident more and more able to do these things on a repetitive basis. All right. If you just do it once and then kind of don't really do it again for 3 months, trying to do it again, trying to make a cold call like that again, it's going to feel daunting again, right? You've got to keep yourself habitually in the habit of doing it. Now, here's a really, really big one. Okay. Selling without selling. Now, there are different approaches to sales. Some people prefer going on a bit of a harder sell. Some people prefer going on a bit of a softer sell. You've got to find what works for you. But one of my personal favorites is selling without selling. Okay. And in essence, how you sell without selling is you really listen to what the prospect has to say. You really acknowledge what they're saying and you try and help them. Your real goal on that session with them, if it's a discovery call or if it's a kind of complimentary audit or whatever you're doing, is just to be the helping hand that they need at that point in time. Okay, the sell sort of comes secondary with this approach. Now, it's a sale that you always want to make happen, but you've acknowledged and understood the fact that you being really, really pushy about trying to make that sale happen is going to actually have the opposite effect. So instead, you choose to be the helping hand first, and then when asked, and if you do it right, you will get asked, how do we make this sale happen? Okay, now they won't use that terminology. What they'll say is, can you tell me more about what you do? Or could you tell me how you could help me? Okay, so it's a very, very big thing that you have to understand when it comes to selling without selling. You're talking about the benefits of whatever it is that you do, but you're not actually saying, do you want to buy them? Okay, so somebody tells you an issue they're having with pay-per-click advertising, saying that they're not getting enough clicks. You could say, well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because a campaign that I did with a client 3 months ago, we actually suffered from a similar issue. And due to XYZ correction, we actually fixed it. And now we're doing really, really well. Okay. So at no point during that sentence have you said, please buy from me. All you've said is, I've done that. I did that for a client and it went really, really well. Okay. So you're selling without selling. You're making somebody want something that you have without actually saying, do you want to buy it? And if you do it really, really well, somebody will be asking you if you would let them buy it. And that's when you know you have really, really, really pulled off selling without selling. Okay. Finally, building your arsenal of answering common questions. Okay, this is such a big one when it comes to sales and negotiation, having conversations during discovery calls. It's something that's also so often overlooked, on how important it is, because the ability to answer these common questions confidently, calmly, smoothly is so important when it looks at your overall credibility of who you are as a business owner and who you are as a service provider. If I ask you a simple question such as, what can you do for me? And you don't really know how to answer that question because you've got 40 different ways in which you can help me, then you're just going to achieve nothing but a complete mess of confusion with the prospect. Okay, they've asked you a very, very simple question. You can't answer that simple question. So even if you are the best in the world at what you do, you can't communicate that, then you're going to have a problem closing clients. Okay, so make sure that you keep a note. The more conversations you have, the more common questions you'll be able to see as a trend. Become used to answering these questions, write them down what they are, and even start to kind of memorize your answers a little bit if you want that, or just do it so often that it becomes almost like muscle memory, repetitive habit of, okay, yeah, I hear that question all the time. I know how to answer it. All right. So build this arsenal of answering common questions and you'll find yourself doing a much better job closing sales. All right. So that brings us to the end of topic number 3. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take one final brief pause on today's session. Then we are going to come back. We're going to do the recap and we're going to do the Q&A from today before we wrap up today's webinar. Okay, so I'll be back with you in just a moment's time. Fantastic. Thank you for the questions. I will get them in just a moment. Okay, so to recap on today's session, number 1, build your network, build your opportunity. The more strategic partnerships you can develop, the higher chance, very likely, that you will have of being able to do more business. Number 2, keep yourself relevant, keep posting on social media, okay? Everything and anything relating to business, put it forward in a professional manner, and you will find yourself with lots and lots and lots of content. And finally, learn how to sell effortlessly, okay? So make sure that you enjoy the sales processes, make sure that you enjoy going through these meetings with clients, because the more relaxed and happy you are, the better you will find your ability to sell without selling comes through. Okay, so as always, a massive thank you for taking time to attend today's iOB business webinar. I hope it's been a enjoyable experience. I hope you've got a lot of value from today's session. All right, it's been a pleasure for me, as always, to present this webinar. So if you would like to talk to a member of our team, please do head over to iob-business.com/talk-to-us. And on there, you can go ahead and book a call at a time that suits you. So when you go to this link, you'll see the calendar up on screen there, just like the one that we have here on the webinar, and you can pick a time that suits you to have a chat with us. In the meantime, I'm just going to grab the questions that I have from you for today's session. Okay, so first question today: what if I'm trying to close a client and they ask a curveball question? Amazing. Okay, love this question. So the most simple way I can answer this is always be honest. All right, honesty first. You can still help even without directly answering the question. All right, so if it's a question that you really don't know the answer to, all right, we're talking about commonly asked questions there in topic number 3. But if it's a question that you really believe you're going to struggle with, just say, look, I'm actually not totally sure what the answer to that is, but I can help you research it. Or I can ask somebody who would know, or I can give you a contact or advice on where to go where you might be able to find the answer. All right, so never be shy in saying that you don't know something. Okay, that is so much better than pretending to know something and then finding yourself caught out. Okay, so always be honest about the fact that you don't know something, and then just try and help in any other way that you can, if that's passing them on to another contact or helping them figure out the information. Great question, thanks for asking, and I hope that helps. Next question: how do I find people to interview? Cool. So think about everybody in your network right now. Okay, we're talking again about in today's webinar about interviewing experts, prospects, clients in any specific industry that might benefit your audience. Okay, so if you want to find these people, you can send them a kind of message on LinkedIn, or you could send them a message on any other form of social media. You could send them an email if you've got their email address. Think about ways to make contact with these people that, with contact information that you may be able to access. Over and above that, look for people within your network or within your extended network, a friend of a friend or a colleague of a colleague, somebody that you could connect with. All right. So again, awesome question. Hope that helps. Do I have any more questions from today's webinar? Okay, cool. Doesn't look like we do. So as always, it's been a pleasure presenting to you. Thank you for taking the time to join us on today's webinar, and I very much look forward to seeing you again on the next iOB business webinar. Take care and bye for now.